Section 1 of Selected Poems of Mexico. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information, or to find out how you can volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Selected Poems of Mexico. To the Unknown Goddess by Luis Rosado Vega. To you who do not exist at all, to you whom I summon vainly in my discontent, whom over peak and valley I pursue, all my desire toward the one end bent, to you whom only some hid altar knew, shedding the light that to my grief was lent, as a great star which from the earth we view, remote in vast depths of the firmament, to you who do not live nor ever have, who have not even a name, you who are made only of soul and light and starry dew, to you these desperate verses which grief gave, when I, upon whom heavy sorrow weighed, realized the impossibility of you. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain. The Dead Man by Salvador Diaz Miron. Read for LibriVox.org by Newgatenovelist. A tree trunk on the mountain brought to ground, forehead lofty and limpid, proud and pure, black brows that come together in the sure and finely crayoned arch of outlines found tracing a bird's flight upon penciled skies. Nose like a falcon's beak, snow-white hair. The fur, no longer green, has crashed down there, and partly girdled with the ice it lies. And through the aperture of half-shut eyes, a gleam despairing, vitreous and pale, the water's lustre in a stagnant well. With my handkerchief I brushed away the flies, and on the corpse's face the shadow fell, as like unto a condor as a veil. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain. Snow-Flake by Salvador Diaz Miron. Read for LibriVox.org by Newgatenovelist. To soothe my pain because thou canst not love me, gazing upon me with an angel's air, thou dost immerse thy fingers, cool and pallid, in the dark mane of my tempestuous hair. 'Tis vain, O woman, thou dost not console me, we are a world apart, in naught the same. If thou art snow, then why dost thou not freeze me? Why do I melt thee not, if I am flame? Thy hand, so spiritual and transparent, when it caresses my submissive head, is but the snow-cap crowning the volcano, whose burning lava depths beneath it spread. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain. Pity by Salvador Diaz Miron. Read for LibriVox.org by Newgatenovelist. You come to me in pride of gentle beauty. What various forms hath pride! It shows to view in the strong lion, rough mane and mighty roaring, and in the dove, soft note and changeful hue. A heavenly power comes with you to my sorrow. It dawns upon the cavern's darksome night, and enters in and spreads there like a music, like a sweet fragrance, like a shining light. You give to sadness, like a good magician, a happy truce. Moved sweetly by your graces, I bless the wound because of its pure balsam. I love the desert for its green oasis. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain. A Wish by Manuel Gutierrez Nájera. Read for LibriVox.org by Newgatenovelist. Seest thou the ivy, how it clings and catches in every crack of the dark altar here? As round the marble stone it wreathes its branches, I would wreathe round thy heart, my treasure dear. See how the moonbeam penetrates the water, tranquil and still, nor doth its peace offend. As the lagoon the quiet moonbeam enters, into thy soul's depths I would fain descend. My dreams, benumbed with cold, I seek to shelter within thine innocent and tender breast, as birds, when winter nights come cold upon them, shelter themselves within the downy nest. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain. Out of Doors by Manuel Gutierrez Nájera. Read for LibriVox.org by Newgatenovelist. The gardenia pleaded, "See how white am I." "White, but not so white as she," was my reply. "My light is of the heavens," said Sirius afar, "but not so paradisiac as hers," I told the star. The swallow twittered in the boughs to nightingale amid the flowers, singing in a glad carouse, as I listened through the hours. What a pair of tuneless voices when compared to notes of hers! Nor is there a star rejoices with the glow her soft glance stirs, simply telling me, "I love thee." Take away, O God, the light, the scents, the birds, the stars above me. Take away all beauty bright, but leave her to my sight. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain. White by Manuel Gutierrez Nájera. Read for LibriVox.org by Newgatenovelist. What thing than the lily unstained is more white, more pure than the mystic wax taper so bright, more chaste than the orange flower, tender and fair, than the light mist more virginal, holier too, than the stone where the Eucharist stands, ever new, in the Lord's house of prayer. By the flight of white doves all the air now is cloven, a white robe, from strands of the morning mist woven, enwraps in the distance the feudal round tower. The trembling acacia, most graceful of trees, stands up in the orchard and waves in the breeze, her soft snowy flower. See you not on the mountain the white of the snow? The white tower stands high o'er the village below. The gentle sheep gambol and play, passing by. Swans pure and unspotted now cover the lake. The straight lily sways as the breezes awake. The volcano's huge vase is uplifted on high. Let us enter the church. Shines the Eucharist there, and of snow seems to be the old pastor's white hair. In an alb of fine linen his frail form is clad. 100 fair maidens there sit robed in white. They offer bouquets of spring flowers, fresh and bright, the blossoms of April, pure, fragrant and glad. Let us go to the choir. To the novice's prayer propitiously listens the Virgin so fair. The white marble Christ on the crucifix dies, and there without stain the wax tapers rise white, and of lace is the curtain so thin and so light, which the day dawn already shines through from the skies. Now let us go down to the field. Foaming white, the stream seems a tumult of feathers in flight, as its waters run, foaming and singing in glee. In its airy mantilla of mist cool and pale, the mountain is wrapped. The swift bark's lateen sail glides out and is lost to our sight on the sea. The lovely young woman now springs from her bed, on her goddess-like shoulders fresh water to shed, on her fair polished arms and her beautiful neck. Now, singing and smiling, she girds on her gown, bright tremulous drops from her hair shaken down, her comb of Arabian ivory deck. O marble, O snows, O vast wonderful whiteness, your chaste beauty everywhere sheds its pure brightness. O shy, timid vestal, to chastity vowed, in the statue of beauty eternal are you. From your soft robe is purity born, ever new. You give angels wings, and give mortals a shroud. You cover the child to whom life is yet new, crown the brows of the maiden whose promise is true, clothe the page in rich raiment that shines like a star. How white are your mantles of ermine, O queens! The cradle, how white, where the fond mother leans! How white, my beloved, how spotless you are! In proud dreams of love I behold with delight the towers of a church rising white in my sight, and a home hid in lilies that opens to me, and a bridal veil hung on your forehead so fair, like a filmy cloud floating down slow through the air, till it rests on your shoulders, a marvel to see. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain. In the Depths of Night by Manuel Gutierrez Nahara. Read for LibriVox.org by Newgatenovelist. O Lord, O Lord, how are the seas of thought tonight with waves of direst tempest torn? My spirit is in darkness terror caught, like Peter's, on Tiberiades borne. The waves are cleaving so my little bark, that to its last destruction it seems nigh. Thou who didst shed thy light on blindness dark, oh, let it now unto my faith reply. Rise, rise, O star of Jesus, on the world that lightly mocks the weakness of my arms. My soul is chilled, our earthly hopes are furled, our eyes are closing mid the dread alarms. Appear across the blackness of the night, our spirits call thee, here alone we wait, and coming swiftly let thy garment white appease the waves where there was tumult late. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain. My Fountain by Luis Hay Ortiz. Read for LibriVox.org by Newgatenovelist. Hard by the cottage, innocent and free, where swayed my cradle, near that hidden cot, its ripples overflowing from their grot, bursts forth my fountain, lost in greenery. When the new moon was mirrored radiantly on its clear wave in that sequestered spot, how oft I cried, "Oh, happy is their lot, who cross the vast expanses of the sea!" It was God's will that I the deck should tread, and find my wish to full fruition grown amid the billows of the tossing sea. God in the deep I saw, and bowed my head, and now upon the sea I dream alone, my humble, sweet, and murmurous fount of thee. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain. Concha by Luis Hay Ortiz. Read for LibriVox.org by Newgatenovelist. Note: Concha is at once the name of a shell and the diminutive of Concepcion. End of note. Above the white foam and the azure sea a gleaming shell doth float, and the bright sun that glows resplendently kisses the fairy boat. The world it glads with beauty does not know the treasure in its breast, the precious pearl, that, radiant as the snow, within its heart doth rest. Sweet Concha! On life's sea thy beauty rides, and man's applause doth win, but only we who love thee know it hides a fairer pearl within. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain. The Stars by Manuel José Othon. Read for LibriVox.org by Newgatenovelist. Who says that men, as we look down to sea, from the deep ocean of the azure sky, seem but like motes before the wind that fly, or worms that creep and die, of low degree? Not so. Their brains, that throb with courage free, these are a marvel that naught else comes nigh, forges where thoughts upon the anvil lie, brighter by far than we can ever be. Beneath that little arch of pallid clay, we see ideas with flaming splendor beam, defying time and space and mortal bars. Compared with these, to us who watch alway, ashes and dust doth all creation seem. Stars are dead matter, human brows are stars. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain. The River by Manuel José Othon. Read for LibriVox.org by Newgatenovelist. With graceful waves, ye waters, frolic free. Uplift your liquid songs, ye eddies bright. And you, loquacious bubblings, day and night hold converse with the wind and leaves in glee. O'er the deep cut, ye jets, gush sportively, and rend yourselves to foamy tatters white, and dash on boulders curved and rocks upright, Golconda's pearls and diamonds rich to see. I am your sire, the river, lo, my hair is moonbeams pale. Of yon cerulean sky, mine eyes are mirrors, as I sweep along. Of molten spray is my forehead fair, transparent mosses for my beard have I, the laughter of the naiads is my song. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain. To the Martyred Poet, Juan Diaz Covarrubias, by Manuel Acuna. Read for LibriVox.org by Newgatenovelist. Within the tomb where hovers dim thy shade, august and dear, now rests the lyre of thy pure soul, broken it slumbers here. No lay of country or of love forth from its chords rings clear. But mid the grief that sighs and weeps around thy place of rest, friend, thy grand silence is in truth of all thy songs the best. It sounds when love of fatherland smites the harp's echoing strings. Thy silence is the self-same thing as liberty that sings. Thou, in that holy conflict stern between the right and wrong, mourning each movement of retreat, didst fall in battle strong. Then o'er the poet's lifeless corpse rose progress with a song. A monster who has left the world a fierce and dreadful name, he who at Tacubaya climbed to history's height of shame, to make his triumph more secure, put out thy life's bright flame. There he mistook, for he forgot, in cruelty and dread, that lips alive and singing speak less loudly than the dead. If it was thy desire to rise unto the infinite, and leave thy name forevermore upon the future writ, well mayst thou sleep in peace today, thy fate hath compassed it. Musing on thee, thy native land, with pride and sorrow saith, that, if thy life was beautiful, more beautiful thy death. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain. A Song of Hands by Jesus A. Valenzuela. Read for LibriVox.org by Newgatenovelist. Hands, like soft blossoming buds of children that search for the breast, in the calm sea of love's gaze, cradled and sweetly caressed. Small hands of Jesus the Christ, in glory ineffably bright. Hands like soft blossoming buds, hands bathed in milk and in light. Fairy hands, nimble and fair, o'er the piano that stray, like a vague dream of life or the void, a dream from some realm far away. The winged expression are ye of a sigh or some cry on the air, floating in infinite space, fairy hands, nimble and fair. Hands of an ivory white, in the shade of the mantle obscure, brightening prayer with their gleams, gentle and star-like and pure. Through their whiteness have passed all the woes that ever humanity knew, with the rosary's beads one by one. O hands of the ivory's hue! Hands full of charity's grace, which to the hungry by night carry forth comfort and food, bread of hope's joy, of truth's light. Noble, mysterious hands, of kindness unending, sincere. Brothers are we, one and all, hands full of charity dear. Oh, pale perished hands of the dead, for love or as martyrs who died. Leaves of one lily are ye, hands that were clasped or spread wide. Hands full of questions, desires, aspirations and yearnings unsaid. Hands to the heavens outstretched, O pale perished hands of the dead. Hands with a sword in their grasp, that by warfare a sceptre have won, and fill the whole world with the flood of rivers of blood that o'errun. Hands of the common folk, armed when quarrels or battles have birth. Hands with the sword in their grasp, red hands of the great ones of earth. Hands that are bleeding and hard, that plough up the stern, arid soil, and scarce feel the flight of the hours, so heavy and cruel the toil. Hands in the workshops that sweat, that set up the type in all lands, hands that meet death in the mines, hard, rough, and blood-spotted hands. Hands that are wonted to toil, strong hands of the brave and the free. When on the heights, in the depths, vibrates o'er land and o'er sea, stirring the world from its roots, the anger of justice on fire. Hands that are wonted to toil, you shall that day hold the lyre. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain. Haikai by Juan Tablada. Read for LibriVox.org by Newgatenovelist. The Peacock. Through the crowded barnyard you pass like a solemn procession, royal fowl, tremendous blaze. The Heron. Pointed like an arrow from beak to claws, yon heron sweeps. The Moon. Like a sea is the dark night, the cloud is a white shell, the moon is a pearl. The Bluestocking. The feather flaunting in her hat, so like the quill stuck in an ink bottle. Kindergarten. From its cage the bird was singing, "Why are the little children free, and we left here?" End of poem. This recording is in the public domain. Pre-Raphaelitism by Juan Tablada. Read for LibriVox.org by Newgatenovelist. You have the grace that through a book of hours some patient monk inscrolls on vellum fair, or in the imaged dawn and sunset bowers your figure shines in holy windows rare. Your parted locks are radiance round your brow, white hosts and lilies are upon your cheek. Your forehead bears the starlight's crowning glow, behind you peacock wings of splendor speak. Your hands two lilies fold upon your breast, veiled as two lovely and half-hidden flowers. Cherubs with timbrels round your feet are pressed, and angels lost amid their vials' powers. Thus as in some mysterious triptych framed, your face adown from other ages shines. Thus mid the gleam of some mosaic, flamed with golden purples, rise your beauty's shrines. Soaring aloft to heaven in Gothic spires, beyond the shadowed cypress groves on high, surge from my dream the old chartreuse's choirs, where you were virgin, and the abbot I. Putting aside my beads of olive worn, my hands grew anxious for the brush and paint. Light from my ogive windowed cell was born, the halls with laurel shadows were acquaint. There from the stroke of dawn, the sacred hour of Eucharistic joy, until the bell of Angelus enswathed the cloister bower with the vague sadness of its evening spell, I painted in a fever mystical thy breast's enchantment all in aureole, decking your robe with gems purpureal, forming your face of hosts and roses whole. And as I worked upon your gentle smile, and taught your forehead fairer, whiter words, from outer cornice spoke to me the while the singing voices of St. Francis birds. Alas, my habit white, my Gothic spire, my heavenly blues, my lilies all in flower, this loneliness for that old chartreuse choir, where you were virgin, mine the abbot's power. Today is dead, the Umbrian lily, dead. From off the friar's pallet light hath fled, nor doth the slightest gleam of joy remain. The bitter etching of his grief hath fed upon the red blood of his heart's last vein. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain. Trees by Jaime Torres Bode. Read for LibriVox.org by Newgatenovelist. Pine tree, ruddy-limbed, entwined with green eternal branches wide, what whisper stirs you on the wind? I was the cross on which your Saviour died. Laurel of the verdant sprays where Minerva's glances fall, what secret through your shadow plays? A withered garland and a cup of gall. Willow tree that bends and weeps, with drooping silver boughs apart, your breast some secret sorrow keeps. Yea, I would weep upon your grieving heart. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain. Chanson Triste by Maria Enriqueta Camarillo. Read for LibriVox.org by Newgatenovelist. What a squalid alleyway it is, that old Santero Street. There you hear but one bird's lay, the grisly owl's ill-omened bleat. The cobbles where its low eaves meet, its little huts, all, they beat my heart into the clay. Oh, stranger, go not, I entreat, go not through old Santero Street. It is the squalid alleyway, where, in the carpenter's retreat, they made my darling's coffin dray. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain. Guadalupe by Miguel Ulloa. Read for LibriVox.org by Newgatenovelist. Once Cupid's eyes were clear, open and kind, but alas! You, my dear, he chanced to find. Only one glance he gave. Since then, who paints the knave must paint him blind. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain. Valentina by Miguel Ulloa. Read for LibriVox.org by Newgatenovelist. When he should chant thy wondrous grace, dumb would the singer's music be. If he should strive to picture thee, never a line could artist trace. For, of a soul so fair as thine, how could the semblance e'er be true, if the glad brush that painted you had not been dipped in tints divine, or if the poet's lyre had known no tones save those of earth alone? End of poem. This recording is in the public domain. An Answer by Miguel Ulloa. Read for LibriVox.org by Newgatenovelist. And what is poesy? She said, as laughingly she questioned me. The smile upon thy lips, the red, ripe bloom upon thy cheek so fair, the glinting of thy golden hair, the light of morning in thy face, thy soul, thy form, thy moving grace, thou thyself art poesy. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain. Rosario by Manuel Flores. Read for LibriVox.org by Newgatenovelist. Note: Rosario means also a rosary. End of note. Many a beautiful brown girl splendid, with eyes of the night and morning blended, springs from the soil of Vera Cruz. But amid all the loveliest faces, show me but one of your height and graces, if but the gods would let me choose. Exquisite rose of perfection! Soon you can no longer hide, and then, when your bright face on the balcony shines, under your window will hang, as at shrines, rosaries made from the hearts of men. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain. Elena by Agustin Lasso. Read for LibriVox.org by Newgatenovelist. If, for beautiful Helen of old, chosen by Paris, a city fell, and heroes of grace spent life and gold, how many Troys under fate's grim spell would perish by fire and sword for thee, if each one who sees thee might Paris be? End of poem. This recording is in the public domain. Josefina by Luis Alba. Read for LibriVox.org by Newgatenovelist. From the chalice of her lips perfume like a nectar slips, and her accents, pure and fine, fill the heart with joy divine. In her eyes benignant lie glories of the sunset sky, that in radiant splendor preach eloquence that passeth speech. If her beauty could but stand, mirrored by an artist's hand, or inspire a poet's theme, man would think it but a dream. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain. Amelia by Aurelio Garay. Read for LibriVox.org by Newgatenovelist. Earth was a bower of roses rare and pale, and heaven a starry sea. Through the soft shadows sang the nightingale his wondrous melody. 'Twas springtime, and the dewy dawn was wet, when from its dreaming stirred, the flower's soul in sweetness rising met the bright soul of the bird. And from that kiss thy loveliness was born, fair shrine that doth enclose the song-bird's voice, the gladness of the morn, the perfume of the rose. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain. Virginia by Aurelio Garay. Read for LibriVox.org by Newgatenovelist. Not hers are her graces, to gods they belong. From Venus her charms, Love lent her his arms. The muse who presides over harmony's tides hath shared with her gladly the sceptre of song. Morales, the master, doth list and rejoice, says, more than Ulysses my fear and my bliss is. He heard but the ringing of Siren's sweet singing. I know the full charm of Virginia's voice. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain. My Glory by Balbino Davalos. Read for LibriVox.org by Newgatenovelist. The azure of thine eyes, the crimson glow upon thy lips, thine ambrous locks, thy cheek with wondrous texture of white lilies, show where for his honey my soul's bee may seek. Thy smile with all the fullness of its grace, its witchery benign and generous, the silvery fall thy laughter's courses trace, in sweeping pearl and crystal tremulous. Thy full surrender to my arms and kiss, thine humbleness before my passions claim. What glory can life give me more than this, my treasure, my ambition's utmost aim? End of poem. This recording is in the public domain. In the Night by Joaquin Arcadio Pagasa. Read for LibriVox.org by Newgatenovelist. It seems like noon, so bright the lustre shed on the damp forest by the moon's white glow. The breeze scarce moves yon oak tree to and fro, that mid 1,000 others rears its head. O'er Zempoala, on an azure bed, the evening star rests just above the snow, and dimly in the fields the brooklet's flow shows like a silver ribbon far outspread. The heavens shine, the hoopoe's note of pain sounds on the mountain, and the echoes send its wail across the broad plains plaintively. Phyllis, come follow me, for I would fain enjoy this night. Shut up the cot, my friend, upon the hillside I will wait for thee. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain. Twilight by Joaquin Arcadio Pagasa. Read for LibriVox.org by Newgatenovelist. Slowly the sun descends at fall of night, and rests on clouds of amber, rose, and red. The mist upon the distant mountains shed turns to a rain of gold and silver light. The evening star shines tremulous and bright through wreaths of vapor, and the clouds o'erhead are mirrored in the lake, where soft they spread and break the blue of heaven's azure height. Bright grows the whole horizon in the west, like a devouring fire. A golden hue spreads o'er the sky, the trees, the plains that shine. The bird is singing near its hidden nest, its latest song, amid the falling dew, enraptured by the sunset's charm divine. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain. To a Beautiful but Heartless Coquette by Francisco de Terrazas. Read for LibriVox.org by Newgatenovelist. Renounce those threads of twisted gold that close in glinting ringlets round my captive will, and on the virgin snowdrift in repose the tinted whiteness of these roses spill. Of pearls and precious corals that adorn this mouth enticingly, be thou but shorn, and to the heavens, by which thou'rt envied still, return the stolen sons that thou hast worn. The grace and wisdom, which as symbols stand of knowledge springing from the source divine, surrender to the far angelic sphere, and thus renounced the gifts of nature's hand, behold, that which remains to thee is thine, to be ungrateful, cruel, vain, austere. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain. The Spider's Web by Jose Rosas Moreno. Read for LibriVox.org by Newgatenovelist. A dexterous spider chose the delicate blossom of a garden rose, whereon to plant and bind the net he framed to take the insect kind. And when his task was done, proud of the cunning lines his art had spun, he said, I take my stand close by my work, and watch what I have planned. And now, if heaven should bless my labours with but moderate success, no fly shall pass this way, nor gnat, but they shall fall an easy prey. He spoke, when from the sky a strong wind swooped, and whirling hurried by, and far before the blast, rose, leaf, and web, and plans and hopes were cast. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain. The Eagle and the Serpent by Jose Rosas Moreno. Read for LibriVox.org by Newgatenovelist. A serpent watched an eagle gain on soaring winds a mountain height, and envied him, and crawled with pain to where he saw the bird alight. So fickle fortune oftentimes befriends the cunning and the base, and many a grovelling reptile climbs up to the eagle's lofty place. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain. The Caterpillar and the Butterfly by Jose Rosas Moreno. Read for LibriVox.org by Newgatenovelist. Good morrow, friend. So spoke, upon a day, a caterpillar to a butterfly. The winged creature looked another way, and made this proud reply, No friend of worms am I. The insulted caterpillar heard, and answered thus the taunting word, And what wert thou, I pray, ere God bestowed on thee that brave array? Why treat the caterpillar tribe with scorn? Art thou then nobly born? What art thou, madam, at the best? A caterpillar elegantly dressed. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain. Maria by Anonymous. Read for LibriVox.org by Newgatenovelist. If, mid the shades on high, they should meet, nor know her name, Beatrice, would Dante exclaim, Leonora, would Tasso sigh. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain. Wring the Neck of the Swan by Enrique González Martínez. Read for LibriVox.org by Newgatenovelist. Wring the neck of the lying feathered swan that gives a white note to the azure fountain. It glides in grace, but never thinks upon the soul of things, the voice from out the mountain. Flee from every form and every fashion, through which life's latent rhythm does not roll. Only life itself adore with passion, and let life know this homage of your soul. Observe that sober owl which takes his flight from Olympus and the refuge Pallas made, to get himself in silence to his tree. Although he has no swan's grace, you can see his sober profile, sharp against the shade, interpreting the mystery of night. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain. Throttle the Swan by Enrique González Martínez. Read for LibriVox.org by Newgatenovelist. Wring the neck of the lying feathered swan that gives a white note to the fountain's blue. Its prettiness is well enough, but on the soul of things it can't say much to you. Make away with every speech and every fashion in which deep life's latent rhythm does not live. Only life itself adore with passion, and make life feel the homage that you give. Observe the sober owl that takes his flight from the Olympian refuge palace made, and gets himself in silence to that tree. Although he has no swan's grace, you can see his restless profile, sharp against the shade, interpreting the mystery of night. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain. The Prayer of the Barren Rock by Enrique González Martínez. Read for LibriVox.org by Newgatenovelist. Lord, round my brow the winds of heaven are hurled. Under the burning sun I bend my head. The cloud that passes, like a bird is sped forth to another world. I know the winter blasts that freeze and sting, the long monotony of summer rain. My eyes upturned to heaven implore in vain the miracle of spring. No forests crowd upon my barren crest, no singing streams of water, running bright through beds of moss and drowsy flowers, invite the traveller to rest. But even as spectres in their tombs awake, haunted by dreams of paradise denied, my dull heart stirs, and in my soul I hide a thirst I may not slake. My feet are buried in the mountain height, my feet are chained, my hope soars to the sky. Men know me not, like strangers they pass by my prison bars of light. And since I am denied the friendly flowers, the fragrant beds of moss, the singing stream, Lord, let the nesting eagles mate and scream above my mountain towers. Yet by my loneliness would I express, as in a symbol, that exalted mood which in impassioned, godlike solitude finds everlastingness. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain. Idyl by Pedro Requena Legarreta. Read for LibriVox.org by Newgatenovelist. The opal-breasted morning of the spring scarce o'er the meads her luminous urn can swing, when from the nests the tremulous light flute of songs comes thawing, and the echoes mute awake and mingle with the distant brawl of lowing cattle and the shepherd's call. 'Twould seem that, falling from the morning's urn, each ray of light would into singing turn. Alone amid the pasture's splendid breast there stands a tree, a shadowy poem blest. Among its prescient leaves there lurks a trace of old-world sadness and of pastoral grace. And bending o'er the field, the green gargoyle of one long branch from out the trunk would coil. Astraddle on the branch a maiden rides, as though a nymph some haughty centaur guides. Blonde is the maid, and naked, tall and fair, with glow transparent as the morning air. A sudden breath along the meadow grass stirs with a kiss the branch ere it would pass. And she, whom hasty breaths of fever seize, grips the bough tighter with her snowy knees. The while the icy jewels of the dew send a sharp chill her silken body through. Her locks float back in airy coronal above her shoulders as the dawn rains fall, and green and rose the shifting boughs appear, like some great butterfly her lips are near. She sways a moment, then as some divine young nymph that Jove enamoured would entwine, her scarlet kisses all the green bough cover, and the tree trembles as it were her lover. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain. I Would Enfold Your Death and Mine by Pedro Requena Legarreta. Read for LibriVox.org by Newgatenovelist. I would enfold your death and mine, as close as our two lives have been together bound. To your dire scar I would conjoin my wound, and bind with yours my fate of joys and woes. I would entwine our wills, until yours chose to be my partisan forever found. For I have gained your love, and sorrow crowned, you have shown courage to a world of foes. Like the simoon I gather up your dust, and heap on high a little pile of trust and hope and pain on pain, to call it ours. Here at the gates of an eternal rest, as all our dreams have known the selfsame bowers, so shall my soul and yours have but one breast. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain. And end of Selected Poems of Mexico. Thank you for listening.